So then, Derby County back in the big time, finally. And I thought I'd commemorate this moment by spending some of the money that we got given for the new season on bringing an old favourite back to the club. That's right, a Welsh international, adored by the Derby fans and someone who started his career at one of the biggest clubs in England. And as a special treat, I'm not going to announce who he is. He's going to call me any second now to reveal himself to you guys, the fan base. And speaking of devil, he's on the phone. 1 second. Hello, mate.
Hi, it's Robbie. What's up?
No, Robbie, mate. I didn't mean you.
I've got some news.
Robbie, how could you possibly thought I meant you?
At times, I'll be honest with you, I was world class.
I mean, whether you were or not, we're going to have to agree to disagree on that, Robbie. You're in your 40s now. You can't possibly expect to play for a Premier League side in 2022.
Right, you're talking absolute
All right, I'm going to hang the phone up now, Robbie.
Talking absolute nonsense.
That's uncalled for. Unbelievable. Obviously, that's not who I meant. Let's just get into the episode. I'll reveal it myself. Honestly, waste of bloody time. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Derby County series, and my name, of course, is Breezy. That's right, Derby County are finally back in the big time, and if you're excited to see how we get on in this new season in the Premier League, then don't forget to drop a like on the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a future upload. Also, while you're down there, get in the comments section, let me know, do you think we've got what it takes to stay in the Premier League this season? Before you've even seen any of the new signings, I want an early prediction. Will Derby stay up or not, yes or no? Get in the comments section and let me know. Now, I was going to say spoiler alert, but if you've got this far into the video and if you've seen the title and the thumbnail, you know by now that Derby County are in fact back in the Premier League after we won the Championship last season. And yes, I'm aware there is a small matter of the fact that Derby currently hold the record for the lowest amount of points across a title season in the Premier League. I think if we can just not do that this time, I'll consider that a success. Now, in all seriousness, of course, the aim for this season is to not get relegated, and I'll be doing everything I can to ensure that doesn't happen. We had about 30 odd million to spend in the summer. I've spent pretty much all of it, and I think I've spent it pretty wisely. But before we talk about the new arrivals, let's say goodbye to some of the heroes from last season who are no longer with us. First things first, Andre Gray then has departed after just one season at the club. £5 million we got for him, which I think is quite good. Bear in mind, we got him in on a free transfer. 38 games for Derby last season, 14 goals, 4 assists in the league. I think as a free signing goes, he's one of our best ones we'll probably ever make. But yeah, I just figured at the age of 32, those physicals are going to start declining very soon. I just don't think he's really cut out for Premier League football. So to get £5 million from him from Leon in Mexico, I think is really good business. So thank you for everything, Andre, but it was just time to upgrade in the striker position. Connor Coventry is someone who was never going to make it in the Premier League, in my opinion. I just think he's a League One player at best who kind of overperformed when he did get opportunities last season in the Championship. So he's gone on loan to Inverness Caledonian Thistle for the season. I did offer him out and transfer list him, but no one came in for permanent bid, so I was happy just to get him off the books for the season. Now, most notably, the shocking one, and this is annoying. So Jonathan Silva has gone back to Brazil to I don't even know which team this is actually. Palmeiras, that's the one. He's gone for around £4.6 million. I forgot he had a release clause in his contract, and I was in talks to sign a potential new left back, and the bid came in, and I was like, oh, okay, it's not a big deal because he's going to Brazil, no worries. That left back was Grimaldo. Obviously, he picked Porto over us because why wouldn't he? But no, it's annoying. I would have liked to have kept Jonathan Silva around for this season. He was really good for us last season, and bear in mind we picked him up for just £350,000 from Almera. Again, only 4 assists in 37 appearances, but it was his defensive record that was so good for us, and that 7.05 average rating across the whole season. He was so good. But so, to make a profit on him is great, but I would have liked to have had him for this season, I think. And that really are the most notable departures, to be honest. A few players have gone out on frees or on loans, but they were sort of more squad players, reserve players that we rarely saw last season, so I don't really want to waste too much time to talk about them. Let's then get into the new arrivals. Like I said, we have about 30 odd million to spend this summer, and with the use of instalments, I've been able to spend a fair amount of money, and yeah, I think we've done quite well. So first up then, I'm not doing this in any particular order, I just want this one how I want to reveal it. Jamal Lascelles has joined us from Aston Villa for a small fee of around £4.7 million. He joined them for 13 million from Newcastle, but barely played for him last year, and he was on the transfer list, so we were able to snip him up. I think he's a great Premier League experienced defender to bring in. 15 for both heading, marking and tackling, some really good mentals, and physically he's not too bad either. And only on 26.5k a week. I think for a player of his experience in this division, we've done really, really well there, so I'm very happy with it. It's a good upgrade on Shea Dunkley, I think. Now, a slightly controversial one, this, because obviously we all love Daniel Bentley, we all adore the man, but I think we needed to strengthen that position and give him a bit of extra competition, and also I'm not entirely convinced Bentley's going to be good enough for the Premier League this year. So, welcome to the team, Arnold Bodart, who joins from Stanley Liège for £3 million. As you can see, in his last 2 seasons. 12 clean sheets, about 6.85, 6.84 average rating. So a pretty solid goalkeeper. 6'1", which is a nice height. Reflexes are really good. He's a good distributor of the ball as well. About 17 passing and 12 vision, which is great for me. The command of area and communication only being 11 is a little bit of a concern, and the 7 first touch, if he is meant to be a sweeper keeper, is a bit of a worry. But he's come in, he's down as an important player. He's on £10,000 a week. I think he's going to start the season for us. But obviously, if he starts having a bit of a stinker, I do feel confident in Bentley coming in and doing a job till the end of the season if needs be. But it's definitely they're going to be battling out, I think, throughout most of the season. Up next then is Yusuf Atal, who comes in on loan from Nice till the end of the season. I really like this lad for a number of reasons, mainly his versatility. He can play at right midfield, right wing back, or just right back, and I think he's pretty good in all areas, in all three of those areas pretty much. I can see anywhere down that right hand side. 15 pacing acceleration is pretty good. I think his mentals are quite good, bar that concentration and positioning. And yeah, okay, his defensive attributes may not be the best, but having used this guy previously, I think he'll be a good squad player for us this season. If we get injuries on that right-hand side or at right back, he can come in and provide admirable cover. And he's not even on that much in terms of wages. I think 32.5 grand a week for the season. I'm not too mad about it. And if he does well, there may be scope to bring him in permanently at the end of the year. A new midfield addition, and as you see, Connor Coventry is gone, so we need to bring... And John Lundstrom's loan spell from Rangers has not been renewed, so we need to get another central midfielder in. And Kieran Dewsbury Hall from Leicester, who's been brought in for about £5.75 million, I think is a really good option in the midfield for us. As you can see, he can do that ball-winning midfielder role, or that box-to-box midfielder role, which either Ferguson or Max Bird do play. So he can provide cover for either of those players in the middle of the park. And 24 is a pretty good age as well. Still got a little bit more room to develop. I love the work rate, the stamina. Natural fitness 12 could be a little bit better, admittedly, but and just his mentals, a lot 11 and 12s, where you probably rather than be sort of 13s and 14s. But I think for this first season in the Premier League, he'll be a more than good enough squad option for us. And he's only down as a fringe player, so he's not going to be kicking off that he's not starting every week, which is fantastic. Right, I said then I needed a new left back because obviously Jonathan Silva went off to Palmeiras, so we missed out on Alex Grimaldo. So welcome Lucas Alaza. I really like Lucas Alaza in the last couple of FMs. Physically, okay, stamina and strength is a bit of a concern, but just really well rounded across the board. And that free kick taken of 17 and crossing of 16. I think he's going to be a fantastic fullback for us this year. He can get up and down the pitch. He's not too slow either. At 29 as well, he's pretty experienced. He's coming from Leeds. Barely played from last year after joining for £5.75 million. Yeah, played seven times for them, and we've got him for a cut price of $3 million. I think he is going to be a key player come the end of the season for us. But I just love how well-rounded he is. What a player Lucas Alaza is. Another fullback signing there. Neco Williams has joined from Liverpool. Basically, Nathan Byrne and Cornell Williams, who were the two right-backs we had last season, I think are going to get found out a little bit this year. I think Byrne is a very good backup. I don't think Williams is good enough for Premier League football. So Neco Williams, at the age of 22, comes in. He's down as a fringe player again, but I think he could develop into a really good player for us. I think one thing he's probably lacked at Liverpool is a solid amount of game time. I believe he had a loan spell at Stoke in season 1. Didn't have the greatest time for them in the Championship. So £14 million is a bit of a gamble, admittedly, but I think in terms of the right backs that are available, this is probably the best one we could have got. I could have gone for someone a little bit more experienced, like Vladimir Soufal I saw was available, but his wages were just a little bit too much for us to afford. So I think getting Williams in on 16.5 grand a week, hopefully, if he can fulfill that potential, he'll be a really solid pickup for us. Right, 2 more deals to talk about then, and these are the 2 biggest signings that we've made this summer without a doubt. And this first one, I think is going to split opinions. I'll be curious to know what you guys think of this one. Welcome to Derby, Alexander Mitrovic, who has come in from Fulham for £23.5 million. Fulham were in the Premier League last season, 8 goals in 32, which I'll be honest is a bit of a concern. But before the season before that in Championship, 26 in 42. So this man can score goals. Basically, I think we're going to go for a target forward, advanced forward combination going into this season. I think that us playing a little bit more direct is going to serve us well. And having a big target man like Mitrovic to aim for is going to do us a world of good. I'm hoping for anyway. We paid a lot of money for him, 42 grand a week is what we're paying on his wages. And a man who I personally think in real life has never really done it in the Premier League. So for me to take a gamble on him and bring him in, he's at 28 now. He should be at the peak of his powers. So hopefully we're not looking at this midway through the season thinking, what an absolute waste of money. I've got every faith that he'll do all right for us. That 15 heading and finishing, the bravery, the aggression, the strength and the jumping reach. I think in the system we play as a target forward, I think he'll surprise people and get quite a few goals. I'm hoping so anyway. Alexander, now is your time, mate. Make it happen for yourself. This last one, I think there are a few Derby fans who are in the comment section regularly who are really going to be happy with. Welcome back to Derby County, Harry Wilson. Yes, we have re-signed him from Fulham. Obviously, he had a loan spell at the club when Frank Lampard was in charge, and he had a brilliant season there, 15 goals in 40, and he's obviously got a number of assists as well, and he's absolutely deadly from set pieces. Obviously, he was at Fulham for a couple of years, had a great time in the Championship, 15 assists and 10 goals, and then 4-4 in the Premier League for a Fulham side that got relegated to get a 6.93 average rating. I don't think is that bad, but I think that, but I think the way this guy plays, he's going to fit perfectly into our team. I should know as well, Tom Lawrence did eventually sign a new contract, so he he is here. So obviously having him, Jozwiak, and now Harry Wilson as wide options, I think is going to serve as well. Plus that free kick taking, the technique, the passing ability is fantastic. His mentals and physicals arguably could be a little bit stronger, but I think this is probably the best wide player we could have got in the summer. There was quite a few people who were on the transfer list who we just couldn't persuade to join us, or they just went somewhere else, or we couldn't afford their wages. So I think Wilson at 45.5 grand a week is a big outlay. But like I say, he's a former favourite of the club. And I think having someone who just gets what it means to play for Derby in the team this season is gonna do us well. So yeah, welcome back, Harry Wilson. Happy with that? I'm pretty happy with that. So in total, about 50 odd million spent. Doesn't take into account the money that we spent on Wilson and Lascelles as well. But yeah, because it does that really stupid thing where some signings count as the season before, which is irritating. But yeah, we spent a lot of money across instalments as well. So we're gonna. I don't even want to look at our transfer debt. Should we look at the transfer debt? just the 48 million quid. Don't worry about it. Look, this is Derby County, and if we don't start this season, that could be financially problematic. I'm sure it's fine. Going into the new season, then it'll become as no surprise that we are predicted to finish bottom of the Premier League, 1,000 to 1 to win the title, which, yeah, fair enough. And I have to admit, the start we've got to this season is not that easy, to be honest. We've got 2 away games to kickstart the season against Villa and Man United. We'll play the Villa game today. And, yeah, following that, we've got Tottenham, Nottingham Forest in the Cup, which is an interesting one, before away trips to Liverpool and Palace, and then bring in Manchester City and Leicester to Pride Park. Yeah, these first 2 months are going to be challenging. I think after that, our run from October into December is a little bit more favourable, and that period there is where we're going to try and pick up as many points as we can if we are going to try and stay up in the division this year. But as I mentioned, we are going to be playing in the Aston Villa game today, and this, I think, is the team that I'm going to be starting the game with. Bodart in goal, Nico Williams, Lascelles, McIntyre, who's still here, and Alaza in the back 4. Harry Wilson, Lewis Ferguson, Max Bird, Tom Lawrence in the midfield with Alexander Mitrovic partnering Dane Scarlett. Yes, some of you are probably thinking, what's happened with Dane Scarlett? You haven't said anything about Dane Scarlett. I've re-signed him on loan for this season. He did so well for us last year. I think another year of playing football at Premier League level is only going to make him even better. And albeit that well make it more difficult for us to sign him on a permanent, I just want to see how this guy gets on in the Premier League. If it turns out this isn't, it's a step too high for him, we have still got Lys Mousset kicking around as well. And Troy Parrott, who, he's just there to, I don't know what he's here for, to be honest. I wasn't that impressed with Parrott last season, so I'm less convinced that he's going to be good in the Premier League, but time will tell. He's still quite young. Right then, you've seen the team, you've seen the new arrivals. Let's go to Villa Park, where we'll be taking on Aston Villa for the first game of the Premier League season. And imagine if we get a win on opening day. How brilliant would that be? I mean, we're 20 minutes in here. We've not had a single highlight. Stats-wise, it's looking pretty even. I'll be honest, if we can get a draw on the opening day of the season, and even more impressively, a clean sheet, I think that's a pretty decent start considering the run of teams we have coming up. As we are approaching 5 minutes to half time. It's a free kick. Wilson swings it in. Scarlett's there, and he can't keep the effort under the crossbar. It goes over. And the first real chance that we've seen, the first highlight of the entire game that we've seen, goes the way of Derby County. But now a corner for Villa. Buendia swings it in, and Origi heads it into the path of Tyrone Mings. It's not great defending, it has to be said from us. And Mings is there to nod it home. And, oh man, so annoying. We get a chance literally a few minutes ago from Scarlett, who can't get his effort on target. And it's just, 2 headers from a set piece. Not good enough. 1-0 to Aston Villa. Okay, big second half needed. If we're going to go in behind, let's try and keep it at 1-0. As Villa come forward again into Divock Origi. And we've got some defenders to do here with Wilson closing him down. It goes back to Matt Targett. And it's all looking a bit too easy for Aston Villa as Leon Bailey hits the crossbar. I think he was offside, thankfully. But yeah, not a great end to the half for us. All right, Villa with some early possession, 5 minutes into the second half as Targett into Douglas Luiz. And I can see options and runs being made off the ball as the effort comes in from Danny Ings. I was worried there. I thought we'd given away a penalty, but no, thankfully, I think it was Alaze. It was a good challenge from him. Okay, Mousset is going to come on for Dane Scarlett. And I also think Jozwiak is going to come on for Tom Lawrence. Just a couple of changes, see if we can, and we'll go a bit more positive as well. We're not looking like we're going to get a goal back, staying on this balanced mentality, so we might as well try and change something. So Alaza goes long looking for Mitrovic, and he's in the team to win those aerial challenges, and he's not there, and it now could present a chance for Aston Villa, as they are in complete control of this so far. Origi into Douglas Luiz, looking over for, I can't even read that, Satalo, and a chance to get the cross in. It's all seeming, like I said, just a bit too easy for Villa at the moment. As Douglas Luiz, plenty of time on the edge of the area. McGinn, we don't want him to get into a shooting position from that area. Has plenty of time to pick out his options, and it feels like we're being toyed with a little bit as Origi goes for goal just wide. Thankfully for us, it is still 1-0. We can still get back into this. Hey, Max Bird was carrying a bit of a knock, so we brought on Dewsbury Hall to bring into the centre of the park. I think we're going to change up a little bit. We're going to go a little bit more direct And we're still going to go with the early crosses, but maybe look to float them a little bit more, try and pass it onto the head of Mitrovic. But man, it's not been great from us so far, it has to be said. Also, we're going to try and play for some set pieces a little bit more, because I think with Wilson on the pitch, set pieces may be our best opportunity to get a goal in this game. Might be a bit naive going into this season and sticking with this same 4-4-2 formation. It might be a case. It's going to be annoyingly because we're playing a lot of the big sides early on as Ollie Watkins goes close. Because we're playing the likes of Liverpool and City and Man United so early in the season, it's kind of difficult to tell what would work for us and whether this 4-4-2 is going to be successful going into the season, because I feel like no matter what you do against those teams, you're going to get beat. As it's a corner for Villa again. Buendia swings it in, shots blocked, but Douglas Luiz, I mean, no chance for the goalkeeper to save that one. Fired into the top corner, 2-0 to Aston Villa. Okay, well, we knew it was going to be tough this season. We know we definitely have not got the greatest team in the league, but yeah, it's been a bit pathetic from us, in all honesty. We've not even looked close to landing a glove on Aston Villa, and they lead 2-0. Yeah, annoying. Yeah, I think it's going to be a case of once we're 10 games in, we're going to know what works for us and what doesn't. As it could be 3-0, Tyrone Mings goes close. Honestly, since that Dane Scarlett chance, I don't think we've had a single shot since that opportunity, which is so frustrating for us. But yeah, it finishes 2-0. Mitrovic was 6.1. Olars was 6.1. I'd say of all the new signings, Wilson 6.7 and Dewsbury Hall at 6.7, arguably the only ones that really turned up. Right then, viewers, I feel like that the pre-season optimism that we had has kind of been dampened quite significantly off that defeat, and also knowing that we've got to play United, Spurs, Liverpool and City across our next few games. It's not great. I think the next time we are going to meet then is going to be those games against City and Leicester at the end of September, and I'll of course update you how we get on against United, Spurs, Forest, Liverpool and Palace at the start of next episode. But until then, I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board, I think. That then, everyone, is going to bring today's episode to a wrap. If you haven't already, do remember to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already, as it helps the channel grow. We recently surpassed 400 subs. Let's go for 500 next. But yeah, also comment section, let me know, how would you rate our trial summer business out of 10? And also let me know how you think we're going to get on this season. Judging off today's evidence, it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but I guess it was always going to be. Hopefully we can turn our fortunes around against Manchester City next week. I somewhat doubt it. Oh God. Until then, everyone, thank you very much as always for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Look after yourselves. Bye-bye. Oh, maybe we do need Robbie Savage. Who knows?